Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today we have with us Kenric Wong. He's a financial representative of Northwestern Mutual. Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Today we just sort of wanted to ask you a couple questions about the importance of financial management for adults and for students. Why is financial planning so important for adults?
Well, there's an old saying, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And it's not to say that if you fail to plan, you're just going to be a failure. But without planning, you don't have a focus. If you have a plan, you know where you want to go, what you want to do, how you want to do it, when, where, and why. And that's where a financial planner or a financial consultant can come in and help focus things. A lot of people have a lot of grandiose ideas. Maybe, hey, my plan is to marry the princess, and how I'm going to do it is I'm going to have the genie help me introduce me to the princess, but it's just not going to happen. And in a less extreme case, let's say retirement. If someone wants to retire and in their plan they figure on Social Security, their 401k, their IRA plans, but that may not be enough. I mean, we all hear the stories of Social Security maybe not being there. 401ks and IRA plans are connected to the market, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, unfortunately, for my dad, when he was ready to retire, his 401k plan totaled about $50,000. So it's like, how do you stay afloat like that? And then there are some people who leave their planning to the company, and they figure, oh, the company will take care of me with their pension plans and their 401ks, but it's just not enough. So, not to say that it's a bad thing, but maybe a lot of people just need a little extra help.
Okay, great. Thank you. Here at this school, our students can go into two different areas. One, they can work for a company. So if you could talk a little bit about, once a student gets a job at a company, what should they be thinking about in terms of financial planning? And after that, if they're planning on going out on their own as a freelance artist or starting up their own company with other students or other professionals, what to consider. So first maybe working for a company and then going out on their own.
Well, there are so many things to consider when you work for a company. I mean, first of all, in order to survive and thrive in a company environment, you personally have to think, hey, can I embrace their philosophy? And without embracing their philosophy and what they do, then it's hard to thrive and grow with that company. I mean, you'll end up being there for a year or two, and then next thing you know, you're looking for another position. I'd like to say that you got to look at a company's culture. What is it like to go to work? How do you dress? I mean, do you go to work casually, or do you go in with a suit and tie? It's just so many different things to consider, and also just basically, what does the company do? Maybe the company deals in something that's not quite environmentally friendly. So, but as a financial representative, one of the other things that I look at is security. How is the turnover rate? Are they going through a lot of personnel? And why are they going through a lot of personnel? Is it management? Is it just the type of job it is? And also, how stable is this company? I mean, back in the 1980s, who would have thought that a company like, let's say, National Semiconductor would have gone out of business? But just when you look at the way technology was going and what direction it was taking back then, you had to have seen the writing on the wall. So those are things to consider when you work for a company. And then if you decide that you want to forego working for a company and start something on your own, then my biggest advice is plan. Nobody expects to fail, but if if you don't have a plan A and a plan B, when something happens, then what are you going to do? I mean, nobody foresaw things like Katrina or 9/11 or market crashes. We hope that they don't happen and they don't touch our lives, but they do. And if you don't have any plan of where do I want to be even after these tragedies, then what are you going to do? You're just going to flounder, and that's a sure way of failing in business.
Thank you. The last thing is just, do you have any concrete tips for our designing career students? A lot of students I know from my own experience with them, they're bad at budgeting. They haven't thought about, their spending. They haven't really considered a 401k if they get into if they get into a company. What are some concrete things that they should really be thinking about in planning?
Well, I think one of the simplest, easiest things to do if you're going out into the world and going out on your own and out of mom and dad's house is talk to people. Talk to people outside of your peer groups. Talk to professionals, and just try to get insight. I mean, you meet them in all walks of life, on the bus, in the park, in the museum, in class. I'm sure there are plenty of professionals who are taking classes right now who you can just kind of tap into their wisdom. And of course, you can always contact me. I'm more than open to talking and advising. I mean, I personally have been in a number of different industries. I've been in hospitality. I've been in the food service industry. I've been in production. I've worked in management. And now I'm in finance. Talk to people. I've actually even been in the entertainment business. So I've got some ideas of what goes on in all these different industries. And you just never know until you break out of your peer group and just talk to people. So, and I do welcome folks in the class to contact me at Kenric Wong, KENRIC .wong@gmail.com, or you can even, if that's a little hard, you can even call me at 415-971-6845. I'd be glad to talk to you about career choices and just planning in general.
Great. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. I'm sure that the students will have learned something, and hopefully they'll follow up.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you for having me.
Sure.